writing a book is a big deal. I remember once you wrote in one of the blog spots in the profile that there are three things one person should do when they're born. It's having a family, planting a tree, and writing a book. And you've accomplished the three of them, which is really, really amazing. And it's this dissonance between writing a book, wanting to write it, but also wanting to write a quality book, like trying to use a true voice, your true voice. So how do you maintain that quality content in your writing in Hidden Genius without that pressure of, I need to finish a book?
Yeah, I can't remember. I think it was Tim Ferriss or somebody said, like, if you don't like writing, if you don't genuinely love it, writing a book is going to be really damn hard. Like, just don't even do it, because it's hard for people who love writing in general, let alone like if you hate writing and you're like, I'm just going to do this to put out a book for marketing purposes to whatever my brand. Like, that's not at all what it should be. And I think because I went into it so with such low expectations, and also if you noticed, I did not announce, I didn't tell anybody about the book until pre-sales were available because I genuinely didn't think I would finish it. Like, I was like, this is a cute project, but I don't think that I just have the time or the energy to finish this. And then I did. And the way it worked is because my expectations were low, and because I did it so in such tiny pieces, that it came together actually pretty fast. I started in, again, February of 2022. What year are we? 2022. And I finished at the end of June in 2022. So a few months. But it would be like my project every single night. Like, I looked forward to that time because I also had a baby and she wasn't sleeping. So when she would actually go to sleep at night at 7 p.m., I would sit down and be like, now I can write. But I think the way to alleviate the pressure of something so big and such a big project is, for me, it started with, I'm just going to write like a table of contents. And then I'm just going to write like a book proposal to a publisher, which is only one page. Then I'm going to only write like one section of one sample chapter, and I send it to them. And then the feedback was good from the publisher, and I was like, oh, like maybe they like it. And then that would motivate me to write the second section. I literally did it. You'll notice in the book, every chapter is split into 3 sections, and those 3 sections are the length of a profile article. So, I mean, it was basically like writing an article a day, which I was kind of doing anyway. So it seemed more manageable than just like looking at this thing and be like, oh my God, you wrote a book. It's like I wrote a lot of like little tiny blog posts that make up a book.
And what were some of the biggest pitfalls you fell into while writing Hidden Genius? And what is one mental framework you used, or a thought, or like a vision that you had that truly brought you back to your confidence zone?
For me, it was always about I wanted to put together all these lessons that I've learned from all these people into one comprehensive thing. And for me, that was a book. For some people, it's a documentary. For others, it's a different form of medium. But for me, it was like, okay, I want to do this. For me, it's like once I commit to something, like I don't stop. And I always say this, like it's not. I don't think that people fail. Like, for example, when I was in high school and I was playing soccer, I was good, but I also wasn't very good. I was not the best, but I was like somewhere in the middle. And then I always look at it as a failure. Like, I'm like, man, like we never really won that much. We didn't go to the state championship. Like, we weren't good as a team. And my thought now is, yeah, like, did I fail at becoming a great soccer player, or did I just like not try enough because I didn't care that much about it? Like, I think if you actually genuinely care about something, you're gonna bust your butt to make it great, and you're not gonna stop. If you don't really care, it's probably gonna quote unquote fail because you just kind of leave it unfinished. So there were many pitfalls in the writing of the book, many of which So I'm the type of person that I actually really enjoy a deadline. I like deadlines because I have something to look towards and be like, okay, I need to finish this by that time. And I actually do really well under pressure. Like journalism appeals to me because you wake up, there's news, you gotta write it fast, and then it's out the door. Like there's this like pressure, that adrenaline that I really enjoy. So for me, for the book, because it's such a long process, these tiny deadlines I saw as like set in stone that I couldn't miss. Um, and then the pitfalls was near the end of the book, I just there was a hiccup where I miscalculated how many words I needed to have a full book. So there was a little bit more pressure at the end. So at the end, I was like, I need to get this into the publisher by this date, because if I don't, the publishing process is a year long. And if I don't get it in by this date, it's not going to publish by June of this year. I can't have it keep going. So I got this. I never get headaches, and I got a headache so bad that it would like it would come like every 30 seconds. So I would write and I'd be like, oh my God, it was terrible. I've never had a headache like that in my life, to the point where I consulted a friend who is a doctor. I was like, what is happening to me? And I think it was funny because the second that I turned in my final draft of the book, it went away. So it's like this pressure that you put on yourself that's A, not healthy, but B, like I think a lot of reading your questions, I kind of got a sense of how you think. And I think it's like, why, I don't know. It's like, you shouldn't put so much pressure on something when you know you have the skills. But like, I think like overachievers do that anyway. Whether you over prepare, overdo it, over whatever. And I think in that process, I learned like it's okay to step back, and it's okay to not be David Goggins all the time, but like figure out what fits your personality and do that.
Yeah, absolutely.